Hey Void, how you doing? Okay, keeping my pace up decently. Almost passed on tonight, but diligence. Getting better. 50 or so, back on it, and keeping on my Godzilla train. Now, in terms of watching Godzilla films, I am pretty much almost through the Heisei series at this point. I just have like one more movie in the Heisei series. But I'm only about midway through actually reviewing them, so I am still way behind. So, next one up, Invasion of Astro-Monster. Yeah, I normally would be brandishing the DVD Blu-ray case at the screen as if it was like a holy book, but since I've been holding up the same giant collection, and that thing is a pain to lug around, so I figured I'd just grab my King Ghidorah plush toy, and there we go. I'm actually really happy I got this thing. It's actually an official Thai brand, Japan-only release plush from, I got at a convention a couple, like, 10 years ago. Got it for like all at 20 bucks then, which, you know, big markup. Looked online recently, these guys are going for like 70 or 80 now, so quite happy to have the king. Alright, so Invasion of Astro-Monster, 1965. So, I reviewed a couple of these out of order, so if you are following along at home, this one comes after Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, and that one ended with Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra banding forces to banish King Ghidorah and send him flying away. Well, this movie picks up after that. It's kind of unclear on exactly when, probably like a year or two. Anyway, with our main characters already in a rocket headed to explore a new planet that was discovered between, I think it was between Jupiter and Neptune, or Saturn and, no, between Saturn and Neptune. Somewhere around there, it's Planet X. Now, we've got our two intrepid astronauts, then Glenn and I think it was Fuji. So Glenn actually is an American actor played by Nick Adams. This was kind of a U.S.-Japan co-production. So I think his actual lines are used in the dub, while the subtitled version is he's dubbed over. I could be wrong on that, but that's my recollection. So they're heading out to Planet X, and once they get there, they meet some friendly aliens, the Exilians, who take them into their underground base to protect them from Monster Zero. And soon enough, Monster Zero shows up to ravage the surface and threaten the water supply of the Exilians. Monster Zero. Because the Exilians, instead of naming things, they number them. So this is Monster Zero, and in order to deal with the problem that Monster Zero presents, they request Earth's help. They request to borrow Monster 01, Godzilla, and Monster 02, Rodan. In exchange, they'll give you guys, then they'll give us the cure for cancer. Cool. Cool. Well, we make good on that, and they come pick up Godzilla and Rodan, and they fight off King Ghidorah there, and we're just cool leaving them on Planet X. And Godzilla does his infamous jig. Well, problem breaks out that the Exilians, who formerly looked like they could be trusted, could in fact not be trusted. And soon enough, all three monsters are now rampaging. Oops. Turns out Glenn's would-be girlfriend is actually an Exilian, as he encounters several ladies who look just like it, and was essentially an undercover spy trying to get a hold of a sonic device, which is the only thing that the Exilians are weak to, a particular type of supersonic wave. Well, it turns out their control is also based on that, so once that gets out, it frees the monsters from control, and Rodan and Godzilla square off against King Ghidorah. So, it's a pretty by-the-numbers Godzilla film, but it's still fun. It's very average. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but this is where some of the camp really starts to sit in. Godzilla doing his jig on Planet X. Now, I remember having this one on VHS when I was a kid, which I don't know who was making these VHSs, but it was not... Even the back of it not only spoils most of the movie, but it was not kind to it. It was referring to, like, one of the lines I actually remember to this day is referring to it as special effects so dated they couldn't even call them special. It's like, come on. Are you trying to sell us on this movie? So yeah, some of the old school VHSs were, the writing on them was a little weird. But, that was referred to as Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, I think, is how that one was referred to. Which, Invasion of Astro-Monster is the more official title, but there's a dozen English titles. Well, this one for me is a good 5 MacGuffins. It's pretty standard. It doesn't have some of the draw some of the other ones, but it's a good follow-up to Ghidorah, and the human drama element on it actually is pretty well done. The love story between him and the Exilian actually does tug at the heartstrings just a little bit. So, yeah, I give this one 6 MacGuffins. No, sorry, 5 MacGuffins. 5. It's not quite as up there as, like, Godzilla vs. Mothra or Ghidorah itself, but it's still before things really started dropping off. Talk about that next time. Alright, so 5 MacGuffins. See you later, Boyd.